Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Tanner and welcome to Crypto Bible. A little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be. I'm doing a video here which I thought I'd never really end up doing, and it's a bit of a personal one to me. So I hope you guys can all kind of bear with me. I want to basically share with you guys my journey of everything that's happened because I feel it's important to do it because a lot of people will always think that they're going through things and they feel like they're never going to be able to come out of it, or they're in a dark place right now. And because I've been there, I get it's quite hard to come out of it. And at this point in time, I do see crypto as something that could potentially change a lot of lives, and hopefully I could be someone that can help people at least do that, or help them in some kind of way anyway, right? And what I wanted to do was just kind of explain the journey that I've been on to get to where I am today, and the journey that I am still currently on right now. And because a lot of people will just see the good stuff that has happened, but no one really ever knows what happens behind the scenes. And I'm sure you watching, you may or may not have problems in your life right now. Everyone has problems, but hopefully you can kind of walk away from this video, you know, kind of understanding where I'm coming from, because I've done some great things in my life this year. In the sense where I have been able to help my family out with the profits that I made from crypto, but it's been one hell of a journey to actually get to this point in time. And I'm going to be, talking about things in this video that not even the closest people know about me. I'm going to try and include pretty much everything that I've been through, stuff that I am still going through to get to where I am today. And hopefully it gives you a bigger perspective on life and makes you understand things in a different way, because sometimes with crypto people just think money, 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 and people become very tunnel vision, but it's not ultimately about that all the time. So I want to kind of just talk about all of that today. Like I said, I'm going to be very open. I didn't think I'd be doing this, but I'd rather get it out the way so people can kind of understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully this type of video can help others as well in some kind of way. Like I said, I don't know. Some people may need to hear what I'm about to say. Some people might not care. But look, I'm gonna do it anyway, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But look, I suppose I'll start with just saying I've always been a person who wanted to make money in some kind of way. Ever since I left college, I just kind of tried everything. I was one of those, that's probably the best way to describe it. I was one of those people that just wanted to try anything and everything to make sure that I'm making money. And I always done it for the right intentions, or so you'd think anyway, right? You always do it because you want to create a better life for yourself. You want to be able to, you know, make sure your girlfriend or your family have a good life. So you're always trying different things to do that, right? And I suppose it all happened when I was about 17. I started working in medical recruitment, which is a very commission based job. And from there is when I just basically wanted to be the best at everything and try absolutely everything. Because I have this thing in my head where if I don't try it, I ain't gonna know, right? And I made a lot of mistakes, right? I have made so many mistakes in my life. But those mistakes have made me who I am today, and those mistakes have ultimately put me in this position where I'm able to speak to some people. We're not a huge YouTube channel, but at least some people can kind of hopefully relate to this and still watch this, right? So it started from there, and I would say the main problem back then was probably gambling. I became an age where I was able to open up a betting account on Bet365 or Skybet, whatever it was, and I became addicted to betting, basically, whether it was football bets. I'd do multiple, whether it was online virtual dogs or whatever it was. I was on it because I wanted to do it, because as soon as you win once, you know what happens. You think you can win all the time, right? And I know that this is a problem that a lot of people go through, because I also, I speak to a lot of people that had the same problem as well. So I kind of just went on some absolute mad gambling spree. For my age, I was earning very well in medical recruitment, thankfully. But I say thankfully, but all I was doing was giving my money away to betting, to gambling. And it got to a point where, yeah, I entered a very dark place. I basically start saving up from work, and I'd end up spunking it all on gambling and losing all of it. And I remember those times where I'd lose all the money and I'd just sit there in complete silence, and not say anything to anyone, and people would wonder what's wrong with me, and I just said I wasn't feeling well or something. And ultimately, things like that just made me very unwell in the end. Anyway, I didn't tell anyone. I started suffering from, I've suffered from migraines for all my life, but stuff like that stressed me out a lot and it made me suffer a lot more. So all of this was happening when I was like 18 years old, right? So working and just literally using all the money because I had no bills, nothing. I'm still living at home. And I just use it on gambling. And whether that was doing 10 football bets a day, because surely one of them's going to come in and none of them ever will. And then, yeah, you'd maybe win one on a virtual dog. It sounds stupid now, but I'm just being honest, telling you guys, you'd win one and then you'd think you can keep winning, and ultimately you lose, and then you start trying to catch up, right? That's just what happens. So it kind of all started there. And I remember one day I basically cracked. There was a day where I basically had a lot of money in my savings for my age. I say a lot of money; it was probably like £7,000, 8,000, which was a lot back then. It still is a lot now for someone who's 18 years old. And I remember there was a time where I thought, right, I'm gonna win big today. And long story short, I lost it all, probably within the space of an hour. And I remember getting my keys and jumping in my car and literally driving as fast as I can, and probably I remember like spotting a big tree down the road, and I was probably driving in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I was probably doing about 70. I just did not know what to think. I wanted to smash into that tree. You guys, you know where I'm coming from. And I remember swerving away from it last second. And I remember sitting in a car park for a very, very long time, crying my eyes out, staring into space, doing nothing. And the bad thing is that my girlfriend knew how much savings I had in my account, and I just wanted to kind of tell her what happened. So I made up a lie and said that there was an accident that happened, and on the road, and instead of the guy going through insurance, I paid him off. It was something stupid like that, but they believed it. Whether or not they believed it or not, I don't know, but that's what I went with. But ultimately, I just knew I was gambling. So yeah, that is getting deep in it, bloody hell. But yeah, that was one of the main things I had to go through, and all of that at 18 years old. And look, obviously I will get on to the next stuff, but I want people to know that if you do have a gambling issue, it's okay. I've been there. All I would say is that the quicker you do something about it, the better, because ultimately that was one of the main problems I had that I sorted out. And as of now, I haven't gambled for about 2 3 years. I've probably done 2 or 3 football bets, and that was because I'd done a team for the World Cup, and a couple of finals. That's all I do, which is absolutely fine. It'll be like a little one here and there, right? But ultimately, I just don't do it anymore. But yeah, that was one of the main problems I had. But look, that did not stop me at all, because I carried on doing stupid stuff. Me being me, I wanted to keep trying different things. And one day, I remember my girlfriend took my banking app, my phone, and went onto my banking app because she kept knowing something was up. And all she'd see was Sky Bet, Sky Bet, Sky Bet, Sky Bet, Sky Bet. It was one of the worst feelings in my life. And ultimately, I nearly lost her because of it. But being the amazing girlfriend she is, she basically set up a Excel spreadsheet where she tracked the savings every month, and it kind of put targets in my head, and I worked towards it. And weirdly enough, it worked. But anyway, moving on. Then came Forex, stocks and shares, for whatever you want to call it, right? I decided to try something like that. And I remember one time I downloaded an app, no idea, forgot what it was called. And I put about 4 grand into it, thinking, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never researched anything. went in completely blind. And I just heard some people made money from it. So there's me again using all of my savings, which I'd slowly built up again, put it in this account, and I completely forgot about it. I ended up getting a new phone, not downloading the app again. And it was something that I understood that I wanted to wait a long time for. That's why I just forgot about it, because I didn't have any intentions of taking it out. Re-downloaded the app after I got the phone, and I looked at it, and I forgot what it was, honestly, but it was down so much to the point where I had lost all the money again, and I was once again stuck with no money. And yeah, so I had to go through that as well. And again, it just all came down to a lot of stress. And in the middle of all of this, due to all of the stress, I actually ended up having migraines pretty much every single day, but not your regular migraines to the point where I couldn't walk, talk, act properly anymore. I was then put on very heavy medication, which made me act very weird. And the stress on top of all of that, I had to go hospital with scares that I may have had meningitis. Thank God I didn't. My dad actually had it years back, and it was a massive scare that occurred. So when the name came up, that's what they done. They had to do a bone marrow test where they literally stuck a needle about that long in the back of my spine to test it. Obviously I was clear and everything, but we found out it was all due to stress, because I was doing all of this and not telling anyone about it. No one knew what was actually going on, the problem, the extent of it, right? And yeah, so that was all clear and everything. And then came my actual job. I hated my job, which was adding on to the stress. I then moved to a different job, which was fuel card sales in a place called Welland Garden City. That ultimately was probably one of the lowest parts of my life, because I had to travel every day about over an hour through very crappy roads, crap car to get to work, which I absolutely hated, which added on to the stress, which gave me more migraines as a result. And yeah, that just kind of added on to it. Things then kind of started getting a little bit better when I joined the job that I'm in now. I met very good people. They helped me a lot in my life, gave me a lot of advice. They guided me, and I was very good at what I was doing. But again, the gambling side of things just kind of carried on. And it came to the point where I was absolutely sick and tired of living my life in stress, not knowing what I was doing, all because I wanted to try something. So what I did, I basically banned myself from every single betting app, so I could not do that anymore. And I promised myself and my girlfriend and my family that I would be better moving forward. Okay. And one thing that also ended up happening was that at work, because I do medical recruitment, I would place nurses and everything else. I wanted to be the best at work. I literally wanted to be what we call the top biller. I wanted to be the best at work. And what would happen was, every time there was a cancellation at work, so a nurse would cancel a shift or something, I'd end up getting very stressed and upset, because a nurse would ultimately be losing me money. And that would then ultimately result in more stress and everything. So a lot of it was just surrounded by stress and money. But I know a lot of people would have the same problems and issues, right? And what I ended up doing, guys, was blanking everything out in the sense of money. Money isn't everything. It's not everything at all. In fact, the moment I stopped worrying about how much money I'm going to earn, the moment I stopped worrying about impressing other people, and the moment I stopped worrying about what's actually happening in my job, is when I stopped getting migraines, is when I started feeling better about myself. And that is the motto that I've been going through ever since the crypto journey came along. Okay, so then came crypto. I was told about XRP by one of my friends. This was in when was it, April 2020, so not even that long ago, just a year and a half ago. And he told me to look into it. And I said to myself, right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right this time. So what did I do? I probably spent over a month researching cryptocurrency before I invested a single penny into this. what did I research? I started researching what cryptocurrency was. One thing I really went deep on was understanding the past cycles. And the reason why this was different is because this happened before. These alt seasons happened in 2017 and 2013, and ultimately, things were kind of copying the same patterns. And I really studied and went deep into everything before I invested a single penny. Now, don't get me wrong, I've made loads of mistakes along the way in my crypto journey. I'd buy high, I'd sell low. I wouldn't be patient enough. If I was patient on certain coins right now, I'd probably be chilling on a private yacht on an island somewhere. It's just as simple as that. And even though I've done well, I could have done a lot better, but I've learned from my mistakes. And I remember after I started researching and I finally invested on an app called eToro, which probably wasn't the best investment platform to use at the time. But I invested and I said to my parents, I said, look, don't be scared this time. I know what I'm doing. But the thing is, they heard it all before. So I was being judged multiple times by my parents and my girlfriend. They tell me I don't know what I'm doing. They would doubt me every single time. And the amount of money I was putting in was scary because I probably put in about 15 grand, which again was all of my savings. So again, I've come from a good place now, but I've just turned my back on it and I've automatically put all my money into this now. And for some reason, though, I wasn't scared this time because I knew what I was actually doing. The amount of research I'd done was ridiculous, right? And I'd get a lot of haters from my family. I nearly fell out with my girlfriend again and my family because they thought I was going down that road again. So I've had to go through a little stick to get to where I am. And I turned around to my parents and I said to them, in 1 year's time, I'm going to pay your mortgage off. That's what I said to them. And understandably, they turned around and they laughed at me. And they were laughing at me for a very long time because I kept saying it. My number one priority is to set you guys financially free so you ain't got no more debt in your life moving forward. Give me 1 year. And yeah, it didn't go down very well because at the same time I was telling my girlfriend we're gonna buy a house outright in 1 year's I said in a year's time back then, but obviously it's been a year and a half, whatever, man. And yeah, a lot of doubt came with it. And in the end, I ended up trying to persuade them to invest as well, which of course didn't go down well. In the end, they did, practically because I was begging them to. And yeah, they ended up doing it. And look, along the way, like I said, I made mistakes, but also along the way, I met a lot of good people online who have taught me a lot, who've showed me things. I've watched many people on technical analysis. It's something that I've always wanted to do, reading charts. And even though I know the basics, I still know stuff now that have helped me along the way. And look, what you know, in end of April this year, I paid my parents' mortgage off. They're debt free now. That's done. I'm now focusing on myself. And, I now have you guys, which is pretty sick. But look, not everything is great right now with myself as well, because although things look amazing, although I've done all that, although, things are looking great at this moment in time with crypto and, the YouTube channel and the Discord group and everything else, people don't actually know what I'm going through right now. For those of you that do not know, I had a disease in my hip called avascular necrosis. Now, avascular necrosis is basically where you do not get enough blood flow into a certain bone of your body, and ultimately it causes that bone in that area to die. So if you looked at my bone on an X-ray or an MRI scan, it would be black, whereas your bone should be white. And I've had groin problems in that area since I was 13. I've always asked for a scan. They never gave it to me. They just said I pulled my groin. And last July, just over a year ago now, I was playing football. And literally, as I was walking back, as the goalkeeper had a goal kick, my leg gave way. And ever since then, nothing's really been the same. And this was all in the middle of my crypto journey, right? So nothing was ever the same. They never gave me a scan, just pill after pill after pill. In February this year, so at the beginning of this year, I couldn't walk anymore. Literally could not walk anymore, and I decided to go private. And after going private, the private GP automatically said to me, "You need an MRI scan urgently. Go get one done." So literally next day, I paid and went to get an MRI scan. Got the results, and my girlfriend's actually a radiographer, and she could read the X-rays or the MRI scans or whatever it is. She took one look at it, and she said to me, "Right, I hope I hope it's not a vascular necrosis," she said. I said, "What the heck is that?" And she said, "Look, worst outcome would be a vascular necrosis, but I don't think you have that," she said. I was like, "Cool." Um, 2 days later, we got the results come back, and the diagnosis was avascular necrosis. And basically, the bone in that area was dying, and I needed to have an urgent operation. At the same time, I had COVID. And I was actually in hospital with COVID. So I had to go through all of that as well. Luckily, I recovered, and I had my operation, which basically the first thing they wanted to try was to do an operation called core decompression of the femoral head, where they basically drill a hole into your bone, which is dead, scrape out all the dead bone, and inject synthetic bone in the hope that your cells regrow around it, which will encourage blood flow. Blood flow. Now, 4 or 5 months on, because I had that in March, it seems as though the surgery was unsuccessful, and I am getting a lot of pain in that area again. People would have realized lately I haven't been uploading as much, and that is because I am struggling a lot at home. I'm on very heavy painkillers 4 or 5 times a day, which knock me out. I cannot go to work in the office anymore because I cannot travel or sit down on a chair for too long. I can't go to our official YouTube studio to record videos to make them look professional. I have to do them at home. So that's been affecting everything. But then when you kind of zoom out and think about it, it's affecting my life a lot more than I would have thought. At this point in time, I will need a hip replacement, which will probably be done very soon. Still needs to be arranged, but I need a hip replacement at the age of 23. So when you zoom out of that and start thinking, I'm never going to be able to play football competitively again. I'm never going to be able to run properly again, or probably play any competitive sport again. I'm going to need my hip replaced every 20 to 30 years. So probably maybe 2 more times in my lifetime. Um, and that area of my leg will never be the same again. So, when you zoom out of things like that, although things may seem quite great and people are congratulating me on this and that, crypto, whatever, I'd probably take away everything just to have a regular hip at my age. People won't get it because they just think it's just surgery, but they don't understand the extent of how this will affect my life moving forward. Um, and it's just kind of stopping me from doing a lot of things. So, that's kind of where I am right now. It's good I've got a lot of good people around me and stuff, but when you start overthinking, like right now, I'm getting counseling done because of it, which is something I never thought would happen to me, mental health. But when I think about it, I've probably needed this a long time ago with loads of stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean that's kind of where we are at the moment with my life. So it's not all good. But look, hopefully it will be better. And look, with the way crypto is going up, I've got to think about it. I had to pay. I'm 23 years old, and I was 22 when I had my operation. I had to pay for my GP appointment. I had to pay for my private scans. I had to pay for my operation, and I had to pay for the physio after that. Those numbers, probably being honest, those numbers added up to about probably around £20,000. I would never have been able to pay for such treatment in a short amount of time, because if I went for NHS, I'd probably still be waiting for my operation. No, not a lot of 22-year-olds would have been able to pay for private treatment and that operation like that. So I kind of look at it two ways, and I think to myself, was this all meant to be? Is this all part of the story? If I didn't get into crypto, I would be suffering a lot more than I am right now. I wouldn't have the money to pay for my operation because everything was private. And heck, I wouldn't have the money to pay for a hip replacement, which will be coming up, um, which is something that I desperately need. I would have had to have gone through the NHS, probably about a year waiting time, maybe even more with COVID going on. 23-year-old, always young. People just don't get it. So I look at things, I look back and I say to myself, was this all meant to be? Because I would never have had the money to do everything that I've been able to do. And for a 23-year-old, I've been through a lot. That's why now when people start calling me wise and everything else on the chat, I say to them, you know what, I am, because I've been through way too much for a 22, 23-year-old, way too much. And I'm very, very, like, God bless, I am very, very lucky to be in a position I am in right now to be able to pay for certain things. And I know I say money is not everything, and it's not. It really isn't. Your health is a lot more important now. I look at people, I drive, I'm in a car and I see boys playing football on the field, and I look at them and I start tearing up because I can't do that anymore. And people take things like that for granted and they just don't think about it. But I look at it and I'm like, wow, my mom's a Zumba instructor. I see her doing her classes in the garden. I'm like, I can't even do that. I can't move my hips like that. Do you know? So, it's very difficult. But, if I look at all the circumstances and realize what's actually happened, I wouldn't be in a position I am right now, to be able to say to my consultant, hook me up with a hip replacement. I'll pay for it. Just get me the best possible hip replacement. It's not a problem. You know, like what? What did he just say? Is he willing to pay all that? People don't know how much hip replacements are. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Google it. It's expensive, and I wouldn't be able to do it if I wasn't, going through the journey that I've been through right now. And obviously, right now, I've got the YouTube channel. The Discord group is one of the best things that's ever happened because there's some amazing people on there. I've met very good friends on there. I'm sure we'll meet up soon. I'm able to help people, and helping people is amazing. Whether I'm right or wrong about the crypto market, at least I've still been able to teach people certain things. So I got to take that away, as a positive. So I got to look at it like that, I suppose. And yeah, ultimately, right now, I'm just in a position where, although things are going great, I've now got an exit strategy planned of hopefully getting a house with my girlfriend, being debt free, saving money for a wedding, um, smashing a whole bunch of money in my girlfriend's savings. I don't know. Health, family is most important to me right now. For those that I don't know, I actually ended up giving all my nurses away at work because I couldn't handle it anymore. So I don't do that role anymore. So soon I won't be earning any commission. I'll just get a base salary. I've given that up. And that's a lot of money but I'm happy because I've got less stress on me from there as well. So all I'm saying, guys, is if you're going through something, you can work it out. You just got to keep getting back up and trying again. And I respect myself when I look back and think about all these things for doing all of that, because I've been down way too many times, but I've gotten back and learned from it. So now, as young as I am, I've learned a lot of life lessons, and I feel like taking it forward in my life will only benefit me for the good. So, that's where I'm sitting right now. And all I would say is, guys, like I said, if you're down about anything, get help, get back up, rethink everything, rethink your life, and just do things better. It's probably, easier said than done, but look, I've done it and I'm still going through it. I mean, I'm still going through crap times right now. I'd do anything to have a normal hip. Imagine sitting here or sitting anytime and all you're feeling in your groin is an extreme throbbing pain. How uncomfortable that must be. Just imagine that, guys. That's what I feel pretty much the whole day, and what I'm having to go through. There's no blood flowing through my hip. My bone is rubbing on bone. That's because it's together like that. I need a new hip. And I'm 23. It's like, for like thinking like a 60-year-old getting a hip replacement, no problem. Normal. What 23-year-old, look, you guys get the gist, man. But I wanted to do this video because it's very important for people to understand that everyone's going through certain things. It all may look good, but it never really is. Everyone's got their own problems. Never judge people. Right now, I never judge anyone. I only help people that want to be helped, that show they want to be helped. I do not give my time to people that, either disagree, well, take the mick or are aggressive or are negative. I keep all of that out of my life right now. I focus on two things: my health and my family. Obviously, my girlfriend being part of the family, and that's all I worry about. Nothing else matters to me, man. If someone's not nice to me, I don't give a crap. If you disagree with me, I don't give a crap. I don't. I just don't care. I look at things so different now. I don't care about anything. Nothing. Literally nothing. If someone has a different opinion to me on a chart I'm analyzing, cool, bro. Absolutely fine. I'm not gonna diss you for it. Life's about opinions. Life's about yourself and your family. It's as simple as that. So hopefully, maybe now you can have a different outlook and realize that people go through a lot of crap, man, and people are still going through a lot of crap. And I got a lot of messages this morning because I hold a lot of Luna. People are like, "Oh, congrats, Luna! You must be gas." I'm looking at, I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's great." But number one, I knew it was gonna happen because I've done way too much research. And number two, I don't really. I'd rather my leg be okay. I'd rather my hip be fine, man. Do you know what I mean? But look, it's great because these things will set us up, for life, hopefully, for the better. So yeah, look, I'm gonna end it there. I've been babbling on for ages, but hopefully that gives you a little perspective of my life, guys. And yeah, just be nice to people because you don't know what they're going through. And yeah, hopefully it gives you a little different perspective of life and just try to understand what is really important in your life and not what other people are saying is okay. Anyway, like, subscribe, whatever, man. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Take it easy, people.